Hey everyone, I want to dedicate this learning for protection of all of the Jewish people, particularly all of the soldiers that are fighting on our behalf, the soldiers in the Tzva Haganah Yisrael, the IDF, and all of the Jews around the world who are going through a lot. This is going to be the second video in the Amidah series, and we're going to hone in on actually at the very end, there's a paragraph that's Elokai Nitzor. It's that final paragraph, and there's actually two Yehi Ratzons if you're familiar with it. Right before the last Yehi Ratzon, before you take your 3 steps back and you say Oseh Shalom Mimramav, right, and you bow the different directions. In many Sidurim it says that a person should include a pasuk with their name in it. So I believe it is in the art scroll. It's definitely in Tilat Hashem, the Chabad Sidur. But if this is something you're skipping, I want to share with you why you should be doing that and inserting it into every single Shemona Esrei that you do. So one beautiful thing that my father-in-law told me was that, when a person signs their name, they're testifying that what they said was true. And so one beautiful way you can think about it is you've said your entire Shemona Esrei, and then at the very end, you're actually signing it and sealing it, right? We know we have signatures where we sign documents and checks or whatever it is, and every single thing down here is a mashal, is a metaphor for everything above. So if you want to know how the upper worlds work, try to probe into what happens down here. And so signing things is very important. So that's one kind of mindset you can have. Now, the second one, perhaps a little scarier, but not scary because we're learning it and will, God willing, know what to do, is written about in this book, Reshit Chochmah. I believe it's also written about in Shar HaGilgulim by the Arizal and Shnei Luchot Abrit by the Shalah HaKadosh, and they describe chibuta kever, which are beatings of the grave. I don't know all the particulars of what it's like to pass away, but one of the things that he describes in this sefer is that when a person is in the grave, and I guess this is the person's freshly put in the grave, so I don't think it's like later on, the angel of death comes and sits on his grave and beats him. The reason why is because a person needs to be able to shake off all of the negativity, all of the bad character traits, all of the gunk that they've accumulated in this world in order for them to progress to the higher levels. Right? So we do this all the time. We say Tachanun almost every day. We do Ashamnu Bagadnu, right? We apologize if we've done something wrong. We speak about this in the Shemona Esrei as well. We have Yom Kippur. We have Yom Kippur Katan, which are all Rosh Chodesh. So we're always trying to rectify what we've done wrong, and it's really a gift from Hashem, this idea of Teshuvah. So we try to clean up as much as we can throughout our lives so that when we move on to the next world, we're ready to go to the higher levels. This angel sits on top of this person's grave and is beating them and says, "Get up, tell me your name." And if a person knows their name at that moment, the beatings stop. If a person doesn't know their name at that moment, the beatings continue. I won't go into describing everything that happens because I haven't passed away, and so I don't really know all the details. But nevertheless, if a person wants to stop the beatings, they have to say their name in that moment. What's the deeper idea here about knowing your name? Why is your name so important? If you look at the word nishama, it has the word Shem in the middle. So there's obviously a connection between neshama, a person's soul, their essence, and their name. Similarly, this is why we say Mishnayot. We recite Mishnah for a person after they've passed away because the same letters of Mishnah are neshama. So there's this idea that ties together all of these things, that a person's essence is reflected in their name. And that if you probe into this idea of, why is that my name? Why was I named Yaakov? There must be something related to that and my mission here on this world. If I spend every single day thinking about my name, thinking about why I'm here, what I need to fix, what light I can bring to the world, then those beatings of the grave, they might not even happen. I might be able to skip it completely, or it might be a lot less per se, because I'm working hard. Unfortunately, the people that don't probe into their name, don't probe into why they're here, might have to go through that process, that part of the process of death. So if you want to skip this entire thing, chibuta kever, then know your name at that moment. And that is why, one of the reasons why at the end of every single Shmona Esrei, we recite that special pasuk that contains our name in it. In many of the Sidurim, it has the psukim at the end, so you can look it up and you can start inserting it. And so with that, I want to give you all a bracha that you should be able to probe into your name, which is actually probing into your essence and trying to figure out the reason why you're here. Hashem has already told you. We don't necessarily know consciously unless you speak with a tzaddik, but if you look into what your gifts are, what your challenges are, what your name is, when you were born, all of these factors, you will discover why you're here. Just to give you an example, for myself, my first name is Yaakov, and both the Yud, the first letter of Yaakov, and the end, the Bet, are both earth letters, meaning there's 4 elements: earth, fire, wind, water. And I'm someone who can trend towards depression, getting down, materialism, and those are both earth elements, the Yud and the Bet. And so I trend towards that, and so I have to do the opposite. I have to realize that that's my nature, and I have to do the opposite of my nature. I have to plant things in the ground and see it grow and water it instead of being sunk down into the ground. So that's just an insight. I've been thinking about my name a lot. I hope to do another video that will go into analyzing all of these factors: the month you're born, your name, colors that you prefer, whatever it is, so that you too can do that work. But it starts with saying your name at the end of Shemona Esrei, signing off, and really, really probing into it. And God willing, we'll all avoid that part of chibuta kever, the beatings of the grave. Hope you enjoyed that video. Please leave comments, share it, and reach out if you have any questions.